Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Yogami Kids Teens Talk. Welcome Arya and Sharanya. I will let you introduce yourself in a bit. But first of all, let me tell you briefly what Yogami Kids is about. We are a children and youth well-being platform. Okay, so we bring yoga, mindfulness, and socio-emotional learning, all these tools and education to children and youth to kind of help them build good habits, be physically fit, mentally fit, and socio and emotionally fit. Okay, and part of Yogami Kids, the whole platform, is this Teen Talk, which is an online YouTube channel. Here all our youth come and present topics that they are passionate about, and we just try to pull the essence of it. Okay, because kids do so many things, but what is the underlying thing that is going on with all these activities that they are trying to do? It's about growth. It's about being in being in a challenging position and try to overcome those challenges. It could be about just having a passion to do something. It could be about confidence. It could be about so many things. Okay, so today's topic is about confidence and speaking up, right? So let me just introduce let me let you introduce you, Arya and Sharanya. And before that, I want to tell everybody that welcome to this talk. And we have Versatile Voices, the team of Versatile Voices with us. Okay. So go ahead. Tell me about yourself, what grade you're in. Yeah, give us something.
Okay. I'm Arya. I'm a rising junior at Westboro High School, and I'm one of the co-founders of Versatile Voices, which is a debate camp for basically high schoolers, middle schoolers, elementary schoolers, just anybody.
Wonderful.
My name is Saronia. I'm a rising sophomore at Westboro High School, and I'm also one of the co-founders slash like assistant helper in Versatile Voices.
Excellent. So now Versatile Voices is a debate club, right? Is
Yes.
it part of the school debate club, or is it something out of school that you guys are doing it independently?
Yeah, so in school, both of us, we debate competitively, but outside of school, we wanted to kind of start a way for younger children to get involved in debate as well, because at the high school, you can only debate in high school, and we believe that like public speaking, having confidence, just knowing how to convey your thoughts was a very important like skill. So we just wanted to make sure that children had that earlier. So we wanted to create a camp outside of school as well, so children can get those skills.
Beautiful. So now, both of you take turns in answering this question. What made you do this? What made you interested in, first of all, joining the debate club? And then how did you get inspired to start something on your own?
Okay, so I joined debate club at my high school because when I was younger and even at the beginning of high school, I was a pretty quiet person. Like, I had like a lot of opinions, but I just didn't really know how to like say them in like a convincing way, kind of, or just present my thoughts.
Mhm.
And a lot of my friends were doing debate, so I figured I would join it for fun. And then I ended up like really liking it. I got a lot of new skills from it. And then for Versatile Voices, I wanted to start it, be or both of us, but I wanted to start it because um, like at our school, the debate program is really great, but a lot of the other schools, they have like professional coaches, subscriptions, and all these things for debate, which Westboro does not have. So we kind of wanted to create a way for for people to get help for debate without having all those like expensive subscriptions, coaches, all these things.
Okay. Nice. Saranya, what made you interested in joining the debate club?
Yeah, so like I had a lot of like friends who were like upperclassmen who were like a part of debate already, and I would like hear about what a great experience it was and how it helped you. So that kind of like inclined me to join. And also like before I joined debate, same as Arya, I had like a lot of like opinions that I wanted to like share, but I didn't really know how to convey them. And I also had like an issue where I kind of spoke like informally and I wanted to be able to speak more formal. And I feel like that's just a key life skill. And the reason I started Versatile Voices with Arya and our friend Sia was because kind of like the same thing that Arya said, like we don't really have like don't get me wrong, our team is really, really good and but we don't really have the same resources that all the other schools around us have. So I thought like the younger you start debate, the easier it is. And so yeah.
Wonderful. So I do have questions about resources. Okay, so remind me if I don't ask you about it later. I'll
Okay.
come back to that.
Mhm.
Okay, but tell me in a couple of sentences, Arya, what is debate all about?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think debate is about arguing, winning, but debate is really about learning. Like, a lot of people think again that you need to win, like you need to establish your opinion, convince everybody that it's right. But I think through debate, you really get to understand other people's perspectives, what they think, and it kind of opens you up to be a more open-minded person, but also learn about whatever topic you're debating. And I think it's just like a really good way to like learn more opinions and other people's perspectives as well, rather than just winning and kind of dominating your opinion.
Wonderful. Saranya, what do you think debate is all about?
Yeah, so kind of just like add on to what Ari said, like I really think it makes you more like flexible and open-minded. And it's like a lot of people think that like what she said, it's like winning and like you have to dominate, but it's really like it's like there's a lot more to it. Like you really learn so much from going against other people, losing and winning. And I just like overall like it's a really good experience and you get a lot of skills that you need like for the future.
Okay. So speaking of skills, so if Saranya, you can continue on that and say, what do you think are some of the key skills that you develop? I know there can be so many skills. There is so much growth when you are starting to speaking up and talking and expressing your opinions and everything. But just in your opinion, what are some of the top, let's say, 5 skills that you can learn by joining a debate club like yours?
I think that one of them is definitely confidence. Like, in the beginning, when you first start debate, a lot of people don't really know like the technicalities of it. Like, for example, like the specific like vocab words or like techniques that you have to do to win a round in debate or have a successful round. But before that, the key skill that you need to have or you gain is confidence. And I just like think that that is really helpful. And especially like Aria and I mentioned before, like I feel like a lot of young people they have opinions and they can't really voice it. And so confidence is a really big aspect of being able to do that. And
So
another thing I think you learn from debate is probably like not being like too stressed out or just being calm because a lot of people I feel like in the beginning they mistake like I think like they'll get really scared or nervous before they go into a round, but it's just like you have to understand that it's just a debate round and like you'll do so many other rounds in your life. So if you lose or if you win, it's not the end of the world. And another quality I think you gain is open-mindedness. Like you really see and hear other perspectives. And even when you know you're gonna lose, at least you like learned a different idea or way.
Mhm.
And another thing I think you gain from debate is working with others because although for public forum it's by partners or Lincoln Douglas, it's just one person. Debate
Mhm.
is really a team sport. When you win, it's a win for the whole team. It's not just you. And
Mhm.
so I really think that's one of the best parts of debate, honestly. And yeah. And finally, the last um the last quality I think you gain from debate is just becoming a hardworking person because although debate is like it's not that much commitment, but you still have to put in a lot of work, and I think you have to put in more work than you would for some other clubs that you're in. And so yeah, so I feel like it teaches you to put in like genuine hard work so that you get like good outcomes in the end.
Wonderful. I think some of the things that I heard was confidence in voicing your opinions, staying calm, even when there is like a contest or a competition, and it's not just about winning, right? And there was a few other uh, things. The third one, what was that? I forget.
And together with others.
Yes, teamwork, exactly. Working together with others. Great. Beautiful. Arya, do you want to add anything for this?
Yeah, like kind of just what Saranya said, like I agree with everything she said. I think like what she said, adaptability, like knowing like even when a debate round is not going the best way, like knowing how to critically think and just like understanding that you like there's many different ways things that can happen. You have to change your response based on that.
Yeah. So obviously you will learn a lot of like the technicalities, like you said, right, in debate while you're learning or while you're practicing. But I think the core essence of this whole debate club is just to improve your communication, putting your point across, right?
Yes.
That is the whole important thing that, people should understand what you're trying to say. So that's one of the core essence of, being in a debate club, right? Wonderful. Good. So now let's talk about like how your club specifically help, kids. So I know a lot of kids, right, who are very shy. And you said yourself that you were shy, Arya and Saranya, both of you. And which is normal. It's not a bad thing. Most of us are growing up, while we are growing up, we are shy kids and we don't want to say too much. We are afraid of what other people will think. So how do you encourage in your club to get over this shyness?
Yeah, so I think we create a pretty supportive environment, especially since we're not like teachers or like older people. Like we kind of can relate to the people we're teaching, and we just create a pretty supportive environment. And then to add on to that, the first few days of our camps, we try to have like a lot of games, so children are having fun, like they're like expressing themselves like if they would with their friends by playing these games. So it kind of like opens them up already. So when they go to debate, they're kind of already in a mood where they want to talk. And we kind of just try to make it seem, especially for the younger kids, that it's kind of more like a game. It's kind of something fun, not something stressful, because like communicating and knowing how to communicate shouldn't be anything stressful at the end of the day.
Yes, I think that's wonderful because, if you have those icebreaker games or just warm-up games, it kind of helps
Yeah.
kids to loosen up, right? And probably eventually they can be more open and even they will share more eventually. That's awesome. So now, Sharanya, just in debate, uh, we have watched a lot of presidential debates, right? And I don't know, even I don't know if you guys know, it's part of our very Indian culture. Even when we did not have all these internet or media or anything, one of the ways that people communicated was through debates because they had to put across a point, and there used to be debates, especially in like the courts of the kings, right? Kings and the ministers, they had to debate to prove that they are better than the others, and then they would get hired in their cabinet, the king's cabinet. So one of the greatest skill is to have a debate skill, right? So, but what happens is, like you guys mentioned earlier, sometimes this can get heated up and the
Mhm.
debate can turn ugly. It can be like a start, calling names, being argumentative, being disrespectful. These kind of things can take over. So, how do you make sure that we don't take that path and we stay respectful and calm while listening to others' opinions? How do you do it specifically in your club? Or if you want to say anything about this, just comments on this topic.
Well, in general, like outside of the club, if you were to go and debate like competitively, um, the judges, they like grade you for how respectful you are towards the others. Oftentimes, if you show any sign of disrespect towards your opponents, you will automatically be disqualified or lose. And
Mm-hmm.
so um, that's why I don't think it that like really happens in competitive debate, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And in our club, I think that if we do like icebreakers, like Ari said, like the kids will be, or like just anyone will be like more comfortable. And I feel like they'll gain a sense of respect for each other. And I just feel like that won't really happen.
Nice. Arya?
Yeah, like what Saranya said, in competitive debate, it's very unlikely to happen because people are trying to win rounds and the judges don't like when people are like rude to each other. But I think like outside of competitive debate, like if I was were to like debate somebody like outside of school or debate or anything like that, and if they were to kind of personally attack me, I think I would try to calmly redirect the topic back to what the original topic was because in most times when people are attacking you, it's usually because they don't really have anything good to say about the topic. So it's just nice to redirect the topic back just and like not really engage with the person attacking yourself because it kind of just makes everything worse.
Nice. Good. I think you answered the next question, which is how do you handle personal attacks, which is, calmly redirecting them to the original idea or the original topic.
Yeah.
That is an excellent, route. And here in Yogami Kids, we use mindfulness tools. Like one of the biggest mindfulness tool is pausing, right? Take a pause. Just don't reactively answer, but thoughtfully respond. That's something that we develop as a skill because just going back and forth and just saying things, without pausing will create more confusion and chaos.
Yeah.
So, pausing is another important skill that you can practice before you respond to anybody's personal attack.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So tell me about resources. What kind of resources you said? Like, I don't know if it is through your school or you are developing your own resources to share with the kids. How do you do it? Go ahead and tell us
Yeah.
about that.
So I think other schools, what they have like professional debate coaches, or they'll pay for subscriptions where they get like pre-written cases or speeches to say in the competitive debate rounds. But our school, we don't really have a lot of funding for debate. So we kind of have to resort to finding other ways to finding these same resources without professional coaches. But what me and Sarania, our goal is kind of to in this camp, especially for younger kids, to help them gain that confidence so that they are not lacking confidence. They're just like kind of lacking resources, which are much easier to get. And then also, since we kind of have done debate, we have like these resources maybe from like friends from other schools. Maybe we found them online, but we just kind of want to share them so it's easier for other people to debate.
Nice. Sharanya, you want to add anything to this?
Yeah. So like other schools, they have like these like they have these things called blocks, which are like kind of like specific evidence that you use to like refute opponents. And so a lot of times those block comes with cases and like those are pretty expensive. And I
Mm,
think that it's really important that obviously like you should use what resources you have available to you, but if you don't, I feel like it's that's actually better in a way because like you're able to think more quickly and you're able to create more evidence on the spot. And it's like you have these pre-written blocks, but like as a whole, debate is more about like being able to think on the spot.
mhm,
And so I feel like that would make it easier for you to voice your opinions,
mhm.
especially if you do debate to gain like skills that will help you in the real world, because in the real world you probably won't have pre-written like.
Anything, exactly. Yeah. Right. That's true. So a lot of these resources are wonderful to start off with, which they can develop and then, take it to real world and then probably they can do without those resources because they would
Yeah.
have already gained those skills. That's awesome. That's so good. Okay, so now we spoke a lot about speaking in debate, right? But another important skill is also listening, right? you have to listen to other person's point of view. So tell us a little bit something about, why that is important and how do you develop that skill?
Yeah, I think listening it's goes hand in hand with communication, learning how to speak because if you're kind of just talking the whole time and just not listening, you're not really responding to your opponent's like argument, which kind of can make you seem less like it's you sound less convincing because you're not saying anything about your opponent. So I think especially since your goal is to like, learn and debate, understand the other person's perspective, you have to listen if you want to respond.
That's right, exactly. Saranya, you want to say?
Yeah, and also one of the things we do during the debate round is we have a sheet of paper where we like flow. It's called a flow, but you write down what your opponent is saying, and then you basically use arrows in different colors to like help you kind of like format what you're gonna say against them. And obviously, listening is a key part of this. And like the judge is evaluating how well you're responding to the other person's claims. And
Wow.
so without listening properly, you won't have a chance in winning the round. So it's definitely a key part.
Wow, that is so wonderful. I did not know about that. But I have seen in some of the debates, people who are debating, they are writing down points, right? Because they are trying to uh, respond appropriately to the other person's claims.
Mhm.
That's very nice. Yeah, listening is very, very important. So now, if let's talk about these younger kids, okay, like maybe mill ponders, like fourth, fifth, sixth grade, or even middle schoolers. If both of you can answer this question, if you are going to teach them one communication skill to these kids that's very important, what would it be?
Um,
Um, you
Go
can
ahead.
go.
I think for younger kids, I think that the confidence is what I would teach, probably confidence or being calm, because I feel like when the younger you are, you tend to have more energy. So I think there should be like a contrast between having energy and being calm during the round.
Mhm.
And I also think that when you're like, say, like fourth grade, you like, you can also be like shy. Like, you can still have a lot of energy while still being like shy, not really voicing your opinions that much. And so I think I would teach them confidence too to fix that.
Confidence. Sure, yeah, because they are still starting and they might be even be like kind of nervous and shy like we spoke before,
Mhm.
right? So that's a good one. And confidence comes only by practicing. It is something that you develop over time. It doesn't come at the single, opportunity. So keep doing it and then they will develop and have that confidence to speak well in the future. Nice. Arya, what would you focus on teaching?
Yeah, I think to add on to what Sonia said, confidence is very important. I think public speaking goes hand in hand with that. So kind of just teaching them when to emphasize certain words. Like, for example, if you're giving like a statistic, you should like emphasize like 3 million people instead of just kind of having like a flat monotone voice the whole time because it kind of makes you sound more convincing. It makes the audience listen to you more. And it kind of
Wow.
is just like a more convincing way to speak.
Wow, that was so cool. I did not know that. I learned something now. Emphasizing is very important,
Yeah.
to kind of
Mhm.
stress upon certain words, certain numbers, probably,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, public speaking again is so, so, so crucial. That's awesome. Okay, so now why don't we do one fun thing? Okay, so first one, just now you did that. So teach me one skill, one technique probably that you have learned. So I can just practice with you right now.
Um,
How would I say some sentence or something like that? I don't know. You are the gurus here.
okay. What's like a sentence that you want to like say in a better way, and then we can help you like say it in a more convincing way.
Oh, nice. Okay. So I want to just say Yogami Kids is about, helping kids build healthy physical, mental, and socio-emotional habits to be,
Okay.
successful and be mindful leaders of the future.
So
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
Yeah, so you could give like an example of like how you do that. And you could also maybe give like a stat, or if you don't want to, you could just like put more emphasis on the words that you want people to hear more, like Ari was talking about before.
Okay. Arya, you have
Yeah,
anything
I
to
think one really important thing that you're already doing is keeping eye contact so it keeps the audience engaged. But I think what
Hmm.
Saranya said, you could give like an example to make yourself sound more credible. Like you've had like 30 guest speakers, or
Yeah.
you've reached like 500 people, like whatever, just to make yourself sound more you're credible.
Hmm.
Okay. Noted. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be more, keep attention and make sure I emphasis on certain things, right? Awesome. Good. Okay. Now, finally, both of you can answer this question. And if you were to debate any famous person, dead or alive, doesn't matter, who would it be and what would the topic be and why?
Um, I think if I were to pick a living person, I think maybe Elon Musk, because I think a lot of there's been a lot of talk about AI and like electric vehicles, robots, a lot of these things, and I think he's kind of really supporting it. So I'd probably want to debate him and see how he thinks AI is going to play out in the future, if it's going to be successful, if it's going to like take over humans, and why we should or shouldn't use it.
Okay.
But yeah,
And why would you like to debate on that topic? Just to
yeah,
kind of, are you against the whole AI revolution, or are you kind of in the middle ground, or are you
yeah.
against it or for it? Where are you?
I think it's a pretty difficult question because AI is used in a lot of different ways. I think mostly I'm against it because people tend to overuse it a lot when they don't need it.
Mhm.
And like Elon Musk, a lot of these people are kind of making it more easier for these people to overuse it. So
Yeah.
I would kind of be against it, and then he would be for it, and we would kind of just talk about how we see it playing out in the future.
That will be exciting. I mean, maybe you can, you never know.
Maybe we'll
You should
see.
reach out to him. He will happily agree for it.
One day.
Awesome. Okay, Sharanya, who do you want to debate
Um,
with?
I probably, I don't, I can't really think of anyone specific at the top of my head, but I think I would want to debate someone against like immigration laws because I
Okay.
know that's like definitely like a really controversial topic right now.
Mhm.
And yeah, I would just like want to talk about like different rules, like should we be strengthening them, should we be weakening them, and why or why not?
That's excellent. Yes, that those are some really crucial, important topics, and which is very, very relevant in today's, political, geopolitical situation and everything, right? So
Mhm.
that will be good. So yes, debate is important. Um, Contesting in debates, all that is fine, but in real life, I think it is a very crucial skill because,
Yeah.
it's like even it could be with your friends and family, trying to convince your friends, convince your partner, convince your family members about your point of view, taking their point of view, being respectful and listen well. So this is definitely a crucial skill. So let us keep debating and let's have healthy debates, right,
Yes.
which will help all of us grow,
Yeah.
and it should be uniting, not dividing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Do you have anything to say to the youngsters or anybody who is watching this or maybe
Um,
watch later? Yeah.
yeah, I think just like say what you want to say, like keep voicing your opinion, even if you're scared, like whatever you want to say is very important.
Hmm.
And it's just a good skill to have. And join our camp in the summer if you're free. But
Yep.
Sharanya?
Just enjoy. Um, you should definitely join Versatile Voices. It would be a really great experience.
Yes. I think everybody should join Versatile Voices just for fun also, you can join the debate club and see how whether you will like it or not, and it'll be fun, okay? Thank
Okay.
you so much,
Yeah.
girls.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. This was really fun. I really enjoyed the
Yeah,
conversation.
me too.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.